Today we are taking a look at the two HasLabs that cost very similar, but have gotten quite a different response. So the G.I. Joe's Rattler and the Marvel Legends Engine of Vengeance are only about $25 difference in price, but the reception is stark. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan, and today we are talking HasLabs. But before we do, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Legendsverse. Started as a collection cataloging website, but have since grown far surpassed that. They started out with Marvel Legends, but they've added G.I. Joes, which we're going to be talking about today. Not something we usually do, but the HasLab has caught our attention. They've also added DC Multiverse, which we collect, and they're working on adding even more things. It seems like every time I open the website, there's notifications that kind of tell you what's new, and there's always a notification saying that things have been fixed, things have been updated, new things have been added. There's community posts that you can interact and talk about figures and comics and stories. You can post your own customs there. You can trade. So much stuff on Legendsverse. We're going to do a deep dive on that. So stick around for that because it's pretty impressive and it's just getting better and better every time I open the website. So check out Legendsverse and stay tuned for our deep dive. But today we are talking HasLabs, and if a HasLab is successfully funded, it will be cataloged in Legendsverse. But today we're looking at one that is not even finished its campaign yet. So let me share screen with you here, Jordan, because I bet you probably haven't really looked too much into the G.I. Joe HasLab.
Not too much, no.
Okay, so we've got the Cobra Rattler. So they have been pretty successful with their vehicles that they've done. They just had the HISS tank. People started getting, I think, a few months ago. Maybe that's been a little while. We're not the biggest G.I. Joe collectors ourselves, but I will say that the figures they're putting out and the accessories they're making with them are pretty impressive. And, there is the caveat of you've got to pay the Marvel fees because it's a licensed brand, but Hasbro owns G.I. Joe, so they have that extra money that they can just put right into the figures and make them even better. So there is that perspective you have to recognize. So when you look at the new G.I. Joe price tag, it is, let's scroll down, $329.99, so $325, and I believe the Engine of Vengeance was about $350. But let's look at the offering that comes with the Rattler first, and then we'll take a look at the Engine of Vengeance and kind of compare the two. So I will say the promo shots for this are pretty cool. You can fit two figures. You've got one flying and one in the turret area. This is going to be 33 inches long, 9.8 high, 32 wide.
That's
so
pretty impressive.
Substantial. Yeah.
That's actually huge. I wasn't thinking it was that big.
Yeah, because this is for the 6-inch line.
Yeah. I thought for some reason these might have been smaller, so I was like, is it really? But okay.
This baby's big. So that does, I don't know, maybe it opens the question to like, this is a big jet looking thing. Could there be potential for Blackbird? Right.
Thanos copter?
So Thanos copter, maybe that's one of the made to orders. So you're going to get this figure. I don't know. It comes with, multiple helmets, some accessories.
Red Ranger.
Forgive me if he's got an actual name. We're not the biggest G.I. Joe fans.
That's my favorite character, bro.
That's Dale. But look at this payload that it comes with. Look at all these missiles and rockets and bombs, and I don't know if that ladder comes with it. I think probably, but that's quite a bit.
12 bombs, it looks like. That's a lot of bombs.
And even just the separate cockpit for the gunner.
Got some
swivels.
Lights up. Control stick.
Wow.
Okay.
We keep going. I think the fact, like, Okay. We
The
maybe could have
fact
done a
it
little
can
more research
shoot
here.
missiles.
I don't think it actually does. Yeah, but
It
like this
emits
part, like
real
lighting up,
flames. Yeah, that looks really cool.
I think that's if these actually
Mhm.
light up again. I probably could have done a little more research to see if these little blaster things actually light up, or if this is just effects from the camera guy. Um, that would be cool. Either way, though, these
Mhm.
are a lot cooler, like rocket blast effects than anything we see from Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
Um, I get the detail of opening this up, and I think that's cool because that's really just like
Mhm.
more for I think the people that like taking pictures with their figures and like staging up scenes and dios, and like now you can have somebody working on this and it's going to look like a fully kitted out engine. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
like you can actually open it and stuff. That's yeah.
A figure stand, not
Mhm.
something I would be too crazy about, but it's
Yeah.
helpful to have. So here's everything you get. The two figures over here are stretch goals, but
Mhm.
whoa, it's a lot of
Whoa.
stuff, Jordan.
Yeah. That is quite a bit.
Patches are a stretch goal.
Mhm.
That's not something I would care about, but that seems a little more up the GI Joe alley than maybe a Marvel Legend collector.
Mhm.
Another stretch goal guy, which they've
Now
unlocked.
see, he is a generic guy.
Yeah,
Cobra, Rattler, Gunner. See, we're not
yeah,
dumb.
but look at that head, Jordan. Switches at the neck.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on. You didn't tell me you were talking about this again today. All right.
And then you got
Good.
Baroness.
Mhm.
So she's not unlocked yet, but I mean, there's
Would
still,
she have
as we're
different
recording
head
this,
pieces with hair though?
yeah, so you can switch her hair out.
What about
And then I
that
would assume,
technology?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. Don't we have that with
I think we talked about
Odin, maybe? Does Odin have hair pieces?
hair.
Maybe it's
I
his
don't know
crown.
what
'Cause
it
I can't remember. I thought there was some figure recently that came out that
I don't think
Hasbro was
so.
doing. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, not often, but it has happened. So
Okay.
yeah, they've still got 20 days to go as we're recording this. Once it's live, probably
Mhm.
5 days less than that, maybe 15 days to go or so. But they've already
Still,
gotten
it's a very
over
successful
14,000 backers.
campaign.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know this. I don't collect GI Joes, but if I had the money just sitting around burning a hole in my pocket, this would be
Mhm.
super fun. Now, if we compare that to the uh, failed Engine of Vengeance, it says the target was 15 backers. That's, I don't know, outdated.
Not correct.
Um, right. It was something way higher that never got hit, unfortunately. But this was, like I said, about 350, and it was nowhere near funding really
Mhm.
ever. So I think let me just scroll down to more of the like full. So here's what you would get, and this is only this would be the base
The
level
base
offering.
offer, yeah.
And I mean, comparing this to the other, I think it
Yeah.
makes sense why GI Joe fans are a lot more excited about these HasLabs than Marvel Legend fans. Because I
Mhm.
will say this is a cool project,
Yeah.
not $350 cool.
Well, I wonder how much of that, yeah, will come down to, like, the choice of this project, though, because like, I feel like with a plane, you do have way more options, like, I don't really know what else they could add to this to make it more
Hmm.
valuable, and maybe that's the problem, is, like, you woulda had to do
Yeah.
something really special with this to make it worth the 350, which it's just yeah, like you said, it's really,
Hmm.
really not there, unfortunately, and wasn't. I think that's why.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think this is a cool, like, just
Mhm.
itself is a cool offering. I like the look of it. I like the effects. But I think the problem was, and I don't know if it was the Marvel issue of having to pay a licensing fee to create this, or if it
Mhm.
was, just trying to make more money and they just priced it wrong. They thought they could make it because, honestly, Jordan, maybe it's our fault as collectors. We went really nuts on Galactus. They said,
And they're
dang,
like,
these suckers will
"These
buy
guys."
anything for any money.
Right, I'm just saying,
And
yeah, I think this was what 350 was way too much for
for
this.
sure. Yeah. I think, knock off, if this was 250, I think people would have been going for it for sure.
200 would be amazing. 250, I think
Yeah.
people might have been a little more likely to get it, but
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, especially even if you like said $200, like if I had to choose where my $200 is going is for this or for a giant man, I think I don't know. Commenters, let me know down below because maybe this is inaccurate, but I think people are going to be more excited about a $200 Giant Man versus this being a
Mm-hmm.
$200 Engine of Vengeance. So maybe it was just they were just off on the character because this is a newer character. It's
Mm-hmm.
you don't really have that nostalgia to play into it. You know,
Right.
hot rods and flames are cool, but how cool. So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting comparison to see. It's not been that long ago that the Engine of Vengeance failed pretty hard, um, but now the Rattler is soaring.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there? Rattler soaring. It's a jet.
Oh,
Yeah, you like that.
wow. You like that. That's what you're here for, folks. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see the comparison and why people would be upset as Legends fans of like the offering there versus what was there for the Engine of Vengeance. I do see what you're saying. The like licensing part that could be big, but I really like. Yeah, I do wonder how much of it just came down to how much more could you do with the Engine of Vengeance.
Right.
Like if they said you need to have a $350 vehicle, I feel like I wouldn't have even gone with Engine of Vengeance.
No.
Because I don't think there's a way to justify that at that much.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that kind of makes me wonder, are Marvel projects just kind of inherently less or just more challenging to like really fill out? Because even
Mm-hmm.
with Galactus, it was like, we got some alternate face plates and alternate head as a stretch goal, and then some heralds as stretch goals. And then, Galactus himself really didn't have like, there was no big like cosmic effects. There was no,
Mm-hmm.
like, there was lights and stuff, but I don't know. To me personally, the lights aren't really a huge deal.
Yeah.
I would rather see physical things. Um, but and that's just like that would really. What else are you going to add with Galactus? You're going to have cosmic effects, and that's really the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could have had a little bit more juiced up heralds, which I think they did a good job though. But maybe having a Terex with like a big boulder to ride on would have been something substantial,
Mm-hmm.
and like because like all the whole payload that comes with the Rattler seems like when you open that box, there's going to be like you're going to need a whole bin just for that stuff. And then
Yeah.
Engine of Vengeance is like, yeah, you've got some flame effects, but like those pretty much all go on the car as it is, and
Mm-hmm.
seems like it has to be there. So
Right.
then, like,
Yeah. It
what do you
seems.
do
Yeah. Like.
with a Blackbird? Like, you don't really have like missiles and bombs to shoot out of it. You could have like the jet engine effect, but it's never really
X-Men, let's
dispersed.
go blow up some people.
Right.
Jubilee just launching
So it's kind of like what would be the price point be on a Blackbird
Sorry, dude.
of a similar size, and then what are you going to put in that box?
Cyclops, kill them all.
Just
Oh,
taking out all the Brotherhood.
writing a letter to the parents. Our last field trip was very successful. All right.
No one messes with Krakoa. So yeah, it's just kind of, and I don't know, this is kind of taking me off on another tangent of just like what could those effects to fill out a box be? Because even with Giant Man, I don't know, what are you going to put in Giant Man's box other than a couple alternate faceplates and a head?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have like effects. There's no big weapons for him.
Yeah.
Galactus, same thing.
That.
Sentinel, kind of a same thing. They really kind
Mm-hmm.
of filled out Sentinel and Galactus as much as I think they could have. So that just makes me wonder about future HasLabs for Marvel Legends and what's something that could be like. I think a Punisher van could be packed full, but that's about it.
That's why the HasLab is now dead, which you can go back and watch a video about that if you'd like, with some
True,
handsome
true.
gentleman talking about it.
That's a good one. I like that. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what do you think a HasLab is? Not necessarily a HasLab you want, but what's a HasLab that Marvel Legends could do that they could
Mm-hmm.
add in just tons of accessories like this Rattler? Because for me, the only one I can really think of is doing the Punisher van, like I said, because then you can
Yeah.
have all the different like turrets and weapons, and you could like swap on maybe
Mm-hmm.
like busted up doors, broken windshield, different things like that that I don't really see with other HasLabs. So
But even then, like, how big is the van? It's like
yeah,
it's not like a semi. truck, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think about the size.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be a similar size to the Engine of Vengeance, maybe slightly shorter, obviously
Yeah.
taller. Because I think he'd have to be able to mostly stand up in it at least. I don't know. It's not like he's driving around a Sprinter van. It's kind of like an old Scooby Doo van. Now I want that to come to like
Scooby
make
Doo
that a HasLab
HasLab.
so I can see. You know, I wouldn't. I'd probably get that.
Yeah, you
Um,
would.
all right, let us know down in the comments what you think. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing. Go check out Legends Verse, and until next time, stay strong.